Hey guys, it's shut the car off here. It's Thursday. Not going too bad. Got a ship shop for around $35. Got a couple plus orders on DoorDash for another $32. It's about, I don't even know what time it is. It's probably around 6 or 7. I've been doing about $18 an hour, so I suspect I'll probably have a little over 100 by the time I finish tonight, but I'll post all my results right here. I wanted to take a second to talk about the gig economy in general. So a lot of people are noticing, that apps are oversaturated, not just DoorDash, but DoorDash has a key playing in what happens on the other apps, and let me explain. So if you've got DoorDash shoppers or DoorDash drivers in general that aren't hitting their marks, maybe in a small market they were okay with working 6 to 8 hours and making $100, and they were okay with that, they wouldn't venture into the other apps. But when DoorDash does something, it affects all of the other gig apps. It affects the gig economy in general. And the reason it does is if Dashers, sorry, man, I got itches on my face. I need to shave this beard. But we got Dashers that if they're missing their mark, they're going to expand into other places. So for instance, say they're missing their marks, they're going to look at Spark, they're going to look at Instacart, they're going to look at Shipt, and a lot of the other apps to try to bridge the gap, whereas maybe if they were making decent money on DoorDash, they wouldn't do so. They'd just be happy with the money they were making, because that's your average Dasher, is they're okay with $100 for a few hours. And if they're getting that, they're not going to look elsewhere. But if they're not getting that, they are going to. So then they're going to bleed over into the other apps. And then you're going to notice the saturation start to build up in other apps, especially in smaller markets. I'm not talking people in the city. You could have people shift from one app to another and really not even notice as much. So, and then I had a friend asking me, because I'm up here working in Mount Pleasant, they're like, well, when do the students come back up there? And I'm like, that's not necessarily a good thing, because when the students come back, it actually gets worse up here. And the reason being is a lot of students, to make money while they're up here in college, they'll turn to the gig apps to make money. And what they order doesn't offset the orders that they're taking. So it tends to make things worse for a little bit, when they first get started up here, and then maybe they find other places that they can work while they're at school or whatnot, and then it balances out. So when they first come back, it's horrible. Right before they leave, it's horrible. So you just kind of got to roll with the punches with that. But it's funny, because when you think of the gig mindset that people have, they think that subtle changes in a market, students coming back, events, et cetera, are going to massively change the gig market. And they might sometimes, but for the most part, you don't get the effects that you think you're going to get. So, or every Dasher, every gig worker has the same exact mindset and has the same exact thinking. And therefore, when you flood everybody into doing something, it's not going to be good for anybody, if everybody has the same idea. So it's just something to think about when you're doing this. You never know what day is going to be good, what day is going to be bad. You can guess, but for the most part, if everybody has the same idea, then it's not going to be a good idea, right? You got to think outside the box. If you're in a market that's bad in general and you're not having any luck, then you definitely need to move into another market, or move, 30 miles in a direction or a half hour in a direction, and you'd be surprised how quickly that might change for you. You might start getting better orders. Maybe you find a small little honey hole in a small little market, but the orders are consistent enough to make money. So just keep out there, keep hustling, keep moving around when you need to, and understand that the money might not come the way that you want it to. You might have to change what you're doing a little bit, which is what I'm doing right now. I would love to sit and work my home market in Elma, but I've been getting absolutely wrecked in Elma, so I started moving around. I started moving into Mount Pleasant, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I've been moving into Saginaw to work sometimes down to Lansing. You just need to keep moving forward and checking markets, and when a market's not good, don't sit expecting it to change, because most times it does not. So I hope that helps some of you. If you have any questions, as always, go ahead and comment them, and I read every comment, and I'll see if I can help. But, well, that was a loud truck. But the thing is every market's a little bit different, and every market changes on a day-to-day basis. The best thing you can do is just stay fluid and keep moving and be willing to change, and sometimes be willing to run things you normally wouldn't run, just to get through this period. So there you have it. That's my 2 cents for the day. Like I said, I'll post my results, but I'm expecting a little bit over 100 today. We'll see how it goes. It could change. So we'll see you in the next one. Take care for now.